the best of them. Born straight as an arrow in a world that is learning to appreciate its curves. She breaks like nails under the slightest of pressure. If you didn't know better, you might call her fragile, it's true. Wears depression like lipstick, she wouldn't leave the house without it. Runs laps around her rosary beads like she is gonna marathon her way into God's good graces. Faces every day in a world of black and white. If you're right, you're on her side. If you're wrong, well, she'll pray for you. She prayed for an Ivy Leaguer. I am 5'9", 140 pounds of all the granddaughters she never wished she had. I'm going to hell for more reasons than she has fingers to count them on, but she likes me. I'll make her laugh. She's heard me use swear words, and deep down somewhere, I know she thinks that's real funny. She holds her own in a church the same way I hold my own on a stage. I don't read her holy books, and she will never hear my poetry. We don't agree to disagree, we just disagree and try not to talk about it. She makes a point of introducing me to the boy at the checkout counter at Kmart and calls him a catch, while I make her uncomfortable by referring to my roommate as my girlfriend and using terms like queer. While I laugh at the way her lips twitch. I must have inherited her sense of humor. I think that's real funny. But I'd never tell her. Along with a lot of things, I don't fall in love nearly as easily as I'd like, but I spend whole nights pulling petals of she loves me, she loves me, she loves me from forget-me-nots and hope she doesn't forget me in the morning. I smile too much and think all the wrong things are funny. I laugh when I'm nervous, get nervous when I'm lying. I've spent whole days laughing through my teeth. It's true, I'm not fragile. My fracture lines are in all hard-to-reach places, well aware that the world is a battlefield where we go to paint ourselves red over whatever we decide most worth it. There are people, like my grandma, who think love comes in a box with simple, easy-to-read, two-part instructions. So imagine my surprise upon opening my mailbox to a Christmas card addressed to two names. My Catholic, conservative, God-fearing grandmother, who grew up in a house, in a country, in a time where my lifestyle was entirely unacceptable, managed to inhale, put pen to paper, and scrawl the name of my partner on an envelope like that did not mean everything to her. And I find myself scouring the page for signs of hesitation, an extra space, a place where the pen may have stopped to regroup and rethink what it was doing, the ink bleeding through like the bullet in the heart of these outdated ideas. My grandma is signing away in the six-letter name of a girl who loved me like rocking chairs on front porches in the dirty South during a rainstorm. Some love is like tidal waves, earth-shattering and great. Some like storm clouds, like sunbeams, and yeah, grandma, like rainbows. So tell me, when exactly was it that you learned to stop flinching and simply accept the rain? Because it's not the same as music. Like a musician comes up here and they're rocking out on their guitar and they sing, and when they stop playing the guitar, like the song is probably over, so everybody knows to start clapping. With poetry, it's like, I'm done. That's what I always understood. Stop. I'm finished. It's like every time you're like, okay. Awkward. Okay, so this next poem is called One Time, and as you will see, I'm not even going to tell you, that would be stupid. Sometimes you have this habit of like explaining the whole poem, and then it's like, why the hell do I even need to read the poem? I already heard it. Okay, just kidding. One time, in Barcelona, I woke up on a beach wearing nothing but seaweed and sand. Rolled over to find myself face to face with a dried up jellyfish, a man the size of a mountain, and a girl who swore she knew better. One time, in Australia, I accidentally ended up in a cage underwater where 15 great white sharks were anxiously trying to whisper me a death wish I didn't know I had. One time, in New York City, I somehow found myself in a private club with 8 members of the Greek mafia, drinking cocktails I can't pronounce the names of until 4 in the morning when a bill arrived to the tune of more than I make in a year. When we left the bar, I was given a the cheek, $100 bill, and a promise we'd always have grease. One time, in Denver, Colorado, I was stopped in the middle of the night by a not-so-innocent-looking man wearing army fatigues. When the wheels of my car stopped turning, I started to get nervous, till I looked to my left and saw he was directing a herd of elephants across the street. I don't do drugs. I rarely drink myself backwards. I am not particularly unstable or unscrewed, but strange things often happen to me. This is true. My very first one-night stand, I was 18 years old. Out at the bar, courtesy of the fake ID of a blonde girl with enormous boobs. The woman's name was Cassie. She had green eyes and the gayest haircut I have ever seen. She bought me a drink. Then she bought me 5 more. And then before I knew what was happening, yeah, y'all guessed it, we were both butt naked, banging on the bathroom floor. At some point during our escapade, she whipped out a pocket knife and directed it towards my 18-year-old flesh, at which point I was forced to yell out, "Hell no, you crazy psycho! I am not into vampire sex." Whatever that is. Since getting older and becoming more worldly and reading the entire series of Twilight, I have come to realize that vampires can be nice people too. However, this does not change the fact that in matters of the flesh, I do not care to be cut open and sucked dry. No thank you. In one trip to Bolivia, I managed to crash while paragliding, get attacked by wild monkeys, and be inside the world's oldest silver mine when an accidental dynamite detonation nearly caused the entire mountain to collapse. Last month, my girlfriend asked me to get married. I have a feeling it's because she thinks I'm not going to be around much longer, and there must be some sort of tax break for being a widow. Yeah, I am aware gay people cannot actually get married, but if that's the first thing that came to your mind, you are not thinking positively enough. But I am positive. You have never met someone whose 1989 Honda Civic was stolen, missing for 2 months, then found in a motel parking lot and stolen back. I did that. If you have ever wondered to yourself if it is possible to fund a year-long trip around Europe by tap dancing in the streets of Tuscany, I am here to tell you that is possible. And if you are looking for someone to make you a citywide Jello wrestling competition, then I am definitely your girl. But if you are looking for a good time, do not hesitate to follow in my party step. But whatever you do, no matter what, do not ever, ever give me tequila. One more short piece for you guys. Thank you so much for having me. This is really exciting. My girlfriend and I just moved to Lake Worth, so a little farther north of here, last August. So we've been here a little bit shy of a year, and it's been nothing but awesome. Living by the beach is totally rad. Living in a place where streets are named Pineapple is totally rad. We're from Colorado, so this is a super huge difference for us, and we're just enjoying, and it's so awesome to get to come down here to Miami and be a part of these events here. Am I talking into the microphone enough? I was told that I needed to talk to it like I was going to get an STD from it, like that close. So I hope that I have syphilis. So yeah, but thank you guys so much for having us. Me. My girlfriend's videotaping in the back. This is so fun. Aquagirl is such an amazing event. These things do not happen everywhere. I don't know if you guys know how lucky you are to live in a place where there's a queer community that is so active in having these huge events, because it doesn't happen all over the country. So it's super fun to be in a place where it's happening. I mean, there's going to be a pool party tomorrow with 3,000 dykes. Like, how fun is that? So thank you so much for being a part of it and letting me be a part of it. I'm super excited to hear Suzanne, as I'm sure all of you are. And yeah, after the show, come and have a chat with me. I have, y'all, this is where I be a total infomercial. I have CDs for sale. My girlfriend and I, as I mentioned in the last poem, she just asked me to get married, which is about the coolest thing that's ever gonna happen to me, I think. So, we're trying to fund ourselves to get married, and we really need help. So a lot of help, y'all. So, weddings are expensive, who knew? You watch those shows on TV and it's like, oh, so easy. Not easy. So any help helps us get married. So I'm going to be selling CDs out in the lobby when this is over, and if everyone in here bought a CD, like, she would be able to wear a really rad tuxedo and I'd be able to wear a really hot dress, which would be so fun. So thank you, but this is my last piece, so thanks so much for having me. I have to mention too, some of you have been a part of this, some of you know I was super lucky enough to be involved with these two people who are putting together a documentary called Written in Stonewall. Who's heard about it? Some people? Yeah. So awesome. If you haven't heard about it, look it up. In like a super nutshell that doesn't even do it justice, it's all about like the queer uprising in the 70s in New York, and particularly these two women, that there was a statue designed of them, and it took 12 years for it to be put up in a park in New York City. So it went through 12 years of controversy in New York, which is like absolutely outrageous for this to be put in. So the story is all about like the uprising of queer people in America and New York specifically, and then particularly these two women who just so happen to still be together now, which is like awesome. So definitely check it out. But this is a piece that I wrote for the documentary, so it's short and fun. She always holds my hand when we walk through the grocery store. And whenever the checkout clerk or the shelf stocker or the uptight mom in the frozen foods aisle worried about what her baby boy is learning about love stare at us a little too long, she never fails to grab my ass and slap me the biggest, wettest tongue kiss this side of Stonewall. Our goal is not to make anyone uncomfortable. We like to call it educating. Our grocery store antics are the revolution we are lucky enough to lead. In 1992, a statue of two women in love was finally revealed in Christopher Square Park in New York City after 12 years of knuckle punch from the people in council of one of the most supposedly progressive places in the world. But last month, my grandparents sent a Hallmark card as a celebration for me and my girlfriend's 2-year anniversary. Inside was a $20 bill so we could have lunch on them, and a $5 bill to buy treats for our dog. Their priorities are straight. They love me for my crooked. It is no secret. We have a long way to go before it gets better, turns into things are great. Before the ring on my finger means as much to the United States Senate as it does to me. Before we stop being stared at like circus freaks. We are ripping the skeletons from the closet and pointing at the pink elephants in the room, screaming love, love, love. Whether a statue in a park or a rainbow megaphone on the steps of City Hall, we are ripping out the pages of an old black and white book, throwing them to the sky and watching as they reshape in the clouds to write out the only words we were ever trying to spell. We have always been here. We will always be here with love. Thank you all so much.